Hey everyone, welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. And today we're riding in Laughlin Hills above Laughlin, Nevada. It's a fun riding area, open riding area that it's got a ton of trails, a ton of climbs, real rocky. It's got some technical stuff, some hard stuff. It's got easy. It's got some jumps. It's got some nice little track areas if you just want to take it easy. It's just a fun spot. So up ahead we got Kyle and then my nephew Case in the middle there. And we're riding this just little Jeep road here. And there's a water washout, a little rut in the road. And I think Kyle's a little daydreaming there, and Case too, and they both go slamming right into it. Luckily, both of them avoided a bad crash right there. It could have been a bad crash. Short ride to their day, but they avoided the crash there, and we're off and running here. So we're gonna get warmed up here. It takes me a long time to warm up. Now the day before we had rode about 80 plus miles on the Arizona side, so my legs are pretty shot today. My thighs are just hurting, but no excuses. We're gonna go and have a lot of fun, and this real fast. If you ride with Kyle, he rides as fast as he can possibly go at all times, which it's good for us learning. I like to ride a lot more slow, a lot more technical. I'm looking for a hard obstacle at all times, but it's good to get outside my comfort zone and work on the balance about being comfortable riding at speed, avoiding the rocks, and being able to move your bike where you need it to go. But yeah, yesterday's ride, I'm working on that video right now. Yesterday's ride was pretty hard too, real fast once again, and that is playing a huge factor on today's ride. So I was pretty exhausted. I haven't done a lot of riding this year, just some local stuff around my house. I was sick the first half of the month, and I missed out on a couple races, a couple of hare and hounds that I wanted to do. But we got a race next weekend. We're doing the sprint enduro, so I'm looking forward to that. I've never done a sprint enduro before, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're out here not just for training, but to build some stamina, some conditioning for the race next weekend. Laughlin has got a bunch of these little climbs, real rocky, and I like this stuff. This is a good rocky climb. I don't do the best. I didn't make a clean run. Trying to make it the least amount of foot dabs as you can. Sometimes get kicked out, or you just didn't hit it with enough speed, and those dabs start coming out. So try to avoid the dabs. We're mic'd up today, so we're on our Intercom system by Pack Talk, or by Cardo. It's the Pack Talk Slim that we use, and so we're talking to each other the entire ride here, which for this terrain it just works out great. It speeds up the ride so much, and if you got any trouble, you can and even helps pass the time, because you can kind of trash talk each other and joke around with each other as you go. Bottom of this little downhill part has a real steep drop off right there. I know the video doesn't show it, but that was a pretty good drop off.
Yeah, not warmed up yet.
So yeah, I'm not warmed up. I always get a lot of arm pump in the beginning. I think that's a lot to do with just not being in shape. The more you ride, the more your body's used to that, getting blood flow and getting the lactic acid out and all that kind of stuff. So just need to put some more miles on to get rid of all the arm pump and especially the thighs, the thigh fatigue. Coming on the backside here of this little mountain range, there's a bunch of these cholla, the cactus there, and they bite, man. If you get close to them, they will sting you real bad. I got hit yesterday riding, and they're real long needles, and they'll break off, lodge in your leg, arm. I had a couple in my thigh. The whole race, or the whole ride, got back home and take it off my gear, and I was feeling my thigh, and I could feel it like a sliver, little thing sticking out. I don't know, they're almost like a half-inch long needle stuck in my leg I've been riding with all day. You gotta watch out for them. You know, there's a lot of them around here. So we're going at a pretty good clip here, making me work on my old 450 here, the tank. Kyle, he's on his new KTM 300, and then Casey's on his old 2007 WR 250, which is, it's an older bike, but it's a pretty good bike. It's light, it has everything you need to do for enduro, and that's one I rode when I did my big ride, or off trip that we did back in November. But now I'm back on my bike, and it is heavier, and you got to be in shape. If you're in shape, it definitely helps on the feel of the bike here. Being out of shape, the 450 lets you know you're out of shape because it's heavy. My tires today, I have my fatty, my golden tire in the front, and then I'm running my cheater 525 Shinko in the rear, and I run tubeless. So I'm running I think 9 psi in the front, and then I think I'm around 6 in the rear. Now this doesn't have a lot of, it has some chunky rocks, but not like yesterday. It was like death rocks. It was some nasty sharp edge rocks. And the speeds you run, if you're gonna go faster, you gotta pump up the air pressure, I feel, because you'll come in slamming down those rocks on the ground, and if you got low tire pressure, that you're just hitting the rim, and you can damage, you can get a flat, damage the rim or something like that. So just knowing the terrain and the speed, I'll go a little higher in the air pressure, a little lower. K stalls out in the climb right there, and I had to quickly do an alternate route. That was a pretty good little rock face. I was able to get over there, which I was like, oh no, I just got to go for it. And got her done. My legs are just killing. There's a lot of whoops out here in some of these sections, and if your legs are tired or your back is a little sore and tired, these whoops just break you down, wear you out. So going a little bit slower today, even though we're going pretty quick. So we worked ourselves on the back side of the range, and there's a bunch of these just washes that all feed down to the Colorado River down there. And we're gonna go down a little bit, and then we're gonna start making a U-turn and start heading back up. And you can just do that. You can just go down and up the range, over the range, back and down. There's just a single track almost on every little ridge. It's a lot of fun. It's every ride or every turn is different than the previous one. There's quite a bit of these little washes. I've cut them out. If you watch any of the other videos, I hate riding in sandy washes. It's my kryptonite. I don't know what it is. I can't handle the sandy washes. I got a couple theories about the sandy washes. You know, just being a heavier bike, heavier person. So you got the heavier bike, heavier person. It's putting a lot more foot pressure on the tire into the sand. Whereas Kyle and Case, you know, they're probably about 100 pounds lighter foot pressure in the sand. Maybe that's helping them corner better. That's just a theory, throwing it out there. Maybe it's an excuse. I should, you know, just be better, be better on my balance, get better on the pegs, turn it. I'm tired, so I'm doing a lot of seat riding today, which isn't the best, but still getting it done. So you can see that little mountain range ahead of us. It's a lot of fun. You just go down, over it, and then back over it. You can stay in the mountains too. There's a lot of just little nasty single track going up and down, around. There was a couple other riders out here that when you go over, there's a lot of blind, you know, hilltops. You're cresting the hill, just going in blind sometimes. And so just be careful, like you always do when you go riding. And then you got these big sandy washes, service roads, and there's a lot of side-by-sides out here, and they'll be, you know, you gotta watch out for them because they'll be going through here at 50, 60 miles an hour. And they won't even see you. They'll just T-bone you. So when I ride the sandy wash, it just feels like my front end is just so squirrely. And even with the fatty is supposed to be a little bit better in sandy terrain, but it's just digging in, you know, washing out. In case you got a little squirrely. Maybe it's just trying to ride faster than what I'm comfortable doing. So we're going up this wash, and there's little rocks right there that kind of block the way. So we're going to divert right. I wanted to go left. There's a good flat rock on the left right there. I kind of just want to bounce over that, but another time. Case is on fire today. He was yesterday struggling quite a bit, and he had a couple of crashes that probably yeah, getting kicked out there. Come on, George, you stay on the trail. And Case had a couple crashes yesterday that kind of hurt his confidence a little bit and wasn't able to do as good as he is today. Today he was going really fast, so I was proud of him. We got our new jersey tops on, which I think they look pretty good. So we got our new red and blue, the Hardcore Enduro logo on it, and then our fun little motorcycle club, the Sprocket and Spurs, that we do for racing. So I think they look good. You can see them from far away. You know, when you ride with different jerseys and pick out your colors, when you do a race, even just trail riding here, you know, if you go dark colors or gray or whatever it is, you get kind of lost. You can't. It's hard to see you. So you pick bright colored jersey. It kind of makes it stand out, easy to find from a distance or in the crowd of riders. So I'm digging it. Here's a little climb here. We start going up, and it gets real soft, really rocky, and the rocks give away here. So, and you know, it's a lot of trails through here, but it's not heavily ridden, so these trails don't get packed down. Plus the sand doesn't pack down. This is just, now Laughlin Hills is just south of the Nelson Hills area, so very similar terrain as Nelson Hills. Just a lot of these crumbly rocks. with the sand mixed in. Here's a really nasty climb right here. This is a hard enduro type of climb coming up. It's gonna make us work. It's gonna be a team effort to get up to the top for all three of us. So Case charged it. He got pretty far, and here's my go at it. Came in kind of slow. There's a lot of chunky rocks right in the way, so it's hard to keep your momentum going. And then I'm gonna stop here and have to get off my bike and help him get up to the top. It's just, you can't get any traction. Every time you go, the back tire is just digging a hole.
Oh.
Case moves his big rock and it just tumbles all the way down. Lands right in front of my front tire. It's hooking your buddies up right there. That's how you, when you're doing races, you can take out your competition by throwing rocks down in front of them.
There you go, Kyle. Moved it out of the way for you, so you got no excuses to get up the top.
It's struggling to get it out of the way. This sucker's heavy. So I'm going to struggle a little bit more to get a little bit closer to him. But I realized quickly this is going to be a shit show trying to get up to the top here solo. And we don't have time to just, if it was myself, yeah, I would just struggle. I'd probably go down and make another attempt back up. And maybe do that a couple times, going up and down. But we're going to do the old team effort to get up here. I'm doing the front tire roll, which is so effective. If you go to help someone out, instead of pushing from behind, pull the front tire, and it's way more effective than pushing from behind. You can just see he's struggling to get that bike to go anywhere. Even though it's so V'd out, you can have the advantage of putting your feet up high. Now it's pretty steep. The camera doesn't show you how steep it is, but it's darn steep.
Alright, ready? I'll catch your breath or whatever.
Yeah, alright. Last little bit. You just got to make a left pivot turn there, and then he's up. Now it's my turn. I'm pretty wore out, though. It's my turn to get my bike, and then Kyle, he's waiting down and below, and he'll bring up the rear. But this is steep. You can see how steep it is. It's hard walking down this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's so loose. The rocks are just giving way.
Nah.
Looking back at this now, I wish I would have made a second try at it instead of just keep on going from here.
It's real loose, so
I feel like I could have, the first attempt, get the feel for it. Second attempt,
I'll move my bike out.
if I was by myself, I definitely would have made like 10 attempts. I would have just kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. But we didn't have all day for that. Kyle comes up, he makes it to about right there. You can see how just bikes, you got to carry a lot more momentum, especially all the loose rocks, to get past it. Now right here, I'm going to decide, instead of going straight up, which probably would have been the better choice, I'm going to try the old zigzag. I see a lot of pro guys, when they get, instead of just going straight up, they'll start cutting a line right and left and doing a little zigzag
Sweetness out
up.
of it.
And
I don't know.
which I'm not saying is the wrong thing to do. I just don't have the endurance for it right now. So maybe a couple more rides into the year when I got my conditioning better, this would work out better. But this was just a little bit harder right now for me. I don't have the endurance, the conditioning to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Can you go on the right side of that bush?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, so I have a little tugger strap that I keep right on the handlebars, which if you guys don't have one, I need to get one. These things, I've used it a couple times to help pull someone with a flat, or if you're out of gas, or now we're using it to pull up the hill. It works pretty good. I like it. They don't take up any space. They don't add any weight. And then you can put it in your bag, or I just strap mine around the handlebar right there, which is pretty handy. And for this going up this long ways, it's a lot better to use this pull strap than pulling the front tire. I think pulling the front tire is like for a shorter period of time. If you had just a little obstacle to get over, pulling the tire would be great. But really, we had a long ways to go to the top. And I wanted to try this out and see how it worked. And it works pretty good. So I recommend, if you guys don't have a pull strap, get one, because it makes getting up a lot easier for you and your buddy.
Let's keep going up.
Using that pull strap now, case you can get a lot better footing climbing up, whereas when you're pulling on the front tire, usually you don't have the best footing, and you're worried about like the guy running you over, or dumping the bike right on top of you as you're pulling the front tire. So having that little buddy strap really is a smarter choice for this, when you got a long pull to go, a long ways to go. Alright, now we're doing Kyle. Kyle doesn't have a tugger strap right on his front fender there, so we tied it a little higher in the handlebars, and when you pull the tugger strap, it kept pushing his front end down, and so we moved it lower right near the axle, which allowed his front end to pop up more, which is a lot easier. So positioning on the strap helped out a lot too, so going a little lower is a bigger advantage. Still, it still is a struggle, don't get me wrong. I was about to die. I think I was about to have a heart attack right now. You got him up, and I just had to sit down real quick, catch my breath.
Woo.
Alright, 60 seconds of rest time's over. Back to riding. I think we spent like another 5 minutes there catching our breath. It's a bad sign. I'm just so out of shape over the winter break. And even the little riding that I'm doing around the house just isn't preparing me for these big day rides. Racing coming up, I'm going to just be hurting bad when that comes next week. We'll see. The Sprint Enduro, hopefully Sprint Enduro is not as grueling as the Hare and Hounds. The Hare and Hounds they just beat you up because it's non-stop going for 3 hours or 4 hours, 70 miles, 80 miles, whatever they end up being. I gotta get in shape. The rest of the climb up is pretty good. There's a rock coming up here, This happens to me all the time. If there's one rock in the middle of the trail not to hit, I'm like, all right, don't hit that rock. And then what I do, I hit it. Boom, there's a little rock right in the middle of the trail. I saw it, and it rolled on me and just kicked me out.
If there's a rock in the
It
middle
happens
of the
all the
path,
time.
I
I'll be
always
riding, be like, oh, all right, you see that rock, avoid that rock in the middle, George. Don't hit it. And then maybe me thinking about hitting it makes me hit it.
Man, if there's ever a
You know when you ride with a group and
one solid
you come
rock
up
in
and
the
they're
middle
all
of the
just sitting there waiting for you. You feel like you're the slow one. When you ride last, and everyone, I always have that, I need to go up. I don't want them waiting on me. They get the rest. So I'm like riding non-stop. They ride up ahead and they get to pause and rest, and then I'm just getting so tired and worn out because every time I reach them, they take off again. I tell you, when you're the slow one, you have to work twice as hard as everyone else. So we go back, so we went over the range, kind of go up a little bit, and then we're just finding another line to go back over the other side. Really little chunky rocky section here, which is good. Oh, this cactus close on the left side. You can hear those cactus. Yeesh. They bite you, man. If you get hit, they go right through everything. See how much Case is getting bounced around up there. Doing a pretty good job staying up on the pegs, letting the bike bounce around, keeping his center of mass, of his body weight, keeping the bike up. Alright, get back on the trail. What are you getting down and off the trail for? Get better at staying on the line, especially when you're doing side hill. You can't afford to go down. You get down. Now this isn't too steep, but some places you get off the main line and then you're in a world of hurt trying to get your bike back up onto the trail. You got to get a little bit better about doing that. Got a pretty good climb coming up on the other side there. So Kyle, he takes off. It's a one shot. It's pretty rocky, so you can't stop halfway. You gotta just one shot it all the way up. All right, here I go. Let's do it. Let's see what Trixie can do. Let's go. Oh, lost a lot of momentum right at the get-go. But she's doing all right. This part here, it's just so crumbly, rocky. You can't. If you stopped here, you'd have to go down and make a second shot at it. But not too bad. There we go. Got her done. See what I'm saying? They always get their little 10, 15 seconds of rest, and I never get a break. Yeah. I need to be faster, that way I can rest when they're resting. My right brake lever, I had filled up the reservoir on the brake fluid that previous night, and I like to have them a little bit tilted more down, and I forgot to tilt it back up. I filled it up and forgot to tilt it down, so it's just a little bit high. Just make it a little bit different. You know, you get used to riding however your setup is. You get used to riding that way, whether it's up, down, or however it is. You get used to it, so it really doesn't matter, you know, after a certain point. So it's a little bit too high for me. So when I'm standing up riding, my right wrist is having to be bent a little bit too up, so I can keep my finger on the brake lever there. And I overlooked the bike. It's pretty thoroughly. I feel like I do a pretty good job looking it over. But there's always seems like just one little minor detail that I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to fix that. Now sometimes I know that I didn't do something, but I'm just gonna go ride anyways. But here I'm like trying to make the bike just ready to go, and there's always like one little detail that I'm like, yeah, I forgot to adjust this. The day before, it was my right or the rear brake lever, my right for the foot. The rear, I can't say it. The rear brake lever on your foot. Anyways, it got bent up, and it was just high. And every time I'd stand and go through a little wash or whoop where you got to stand, and the bike, you know, is quickly going down and up again. So you're really leaning forward over the handlebars there, and a right foot would catch that rear brake lever because it's bent high. It'd catch right on my toe of my boot and then stall out the bike. That was yesterday's problem. So last night I bent that down to its normal, which made this ride a lot better. I would have been stalling all over the place if I didn't do that. But today it was the finger level for your front brake. It was a good hill climb here. Not anything hard, but just it was pretty steep, and you just had to keep on the gas. And the knobs got her done. Okay, he's doing a really good job keeping up with Kyle on this tight trail here up the slope. I'm on the struggle bus, and we're going pretty quick. This is all good training for the any hare and hound, and we got the sprint enduro coming up this weekend, so this is good training, getting us ready for that. Kyle was riding last week, and he broke toes on both his feet. So his feet right now are all black and blue from kicking rocks, going fast through the desert. And when I get that other video uploaded from the Bullhead side, you'll see there's just a lot of big like foot by 1 by 1, 2 by 2, just really nasty chunky rocks that are right on the trail, and it's real easy if you get off a little bit to kick those guys.
Do this race next year when they have the race here.
Yeah, as we ride along, we kept seeing little pink ribbon marking different routes. So they must have some kind of hare scramble or some kind of race here. And next year I'll keep my eye open for it and come do it, because this would be an awesome area. It goes through this terrain, so this is one of the trails I went through. So this is
the race I went through here.
Yeah, I went through here. That would be a really awesome race, in my opinion. It's real chunky. These rocks can kick you out real easy. I just got to keep flowing, keep the bike rolling. This part here has a couple of kind of real nasty little drops, all rutted out from people burning it up, and then the rainwater washing it out. You got another one here that's even worse, and the guys just go right on over, don't even slow down. So I'm like, all right, gotta match them, gotta keep it up. Yeah, look at that. Woo. That is nasty.
Oh, sure is.
It'd be a nice one to try to hit up, going the opposite direction. We didn't do that, we just kept on rolling, but we'll get out here again, we'll do it the opposite way and see how that is.
No.
Come on, Georgie, you need to catch up. Getting too far behind. Our pack talks were still able to communicate to each other. So that is really helpful, especially when you got splits like that. You know, that trail could have went right. And they're talking to me and saying going straight. So that's why I like the intercom system. It speeds up your group trail ride. I know it's not perfect. It does cut out sometimes. And then they have this mesh system. If you lose contact, I think it's like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, you lose contact, it'll drop them, and then you got to reconnect it or get close again. The next generation put out by Cardo does a much better job of picking it up, even though you might drop them for more than 5 minutes or so, and it'll still reconnect as soon as it gets the line of sight again. So it is an expensive system, but on your group rides, it's just so nice. It speeds up the group rides so much. You don't have to stop and wait at the turns. You can just tell them which way you went, and you're just off and going. Time for a little breather, get a little snack, and then they're going to switch bikes here. So Case is going to jump on the 300, and then Kyle's riding now the 250. So even though they're riding different bikes now, I'm still the slow one, bringing up the rear. It's always weird when you jump, you know, your buddy asks you to jump on their bike, and they have a little bit different handlebar setup, a little bit different brake and clutch setup, and the bike powered, it's a little bit different. It's always a weird initial feel, so you feel like you're riding reserve. Well, they just take off, they even slow down. I'm the one going that needs to speed up. Just a beautiful day for a ride out here. There's hardly any dust. It was nice and cool this morning. I think we woke up, it was about 36 degrees, and just a slight little breeze. No dust. It's a huge difference riding with no dust, especially in a group. So it's just a beautiful day for a ride. Got a nice little downhill right here. A little bit loose with the rolling rocks, but get through that okay. Kyle, he's adjusting the idle. He's on the 250. The idle's a little bit too slow for him. I know sometimes the bike, depending on altitude, it's a carbureted bike, the idle will change on altitude, and you can start out with a nice idle. If you go up or down in altitude, the bike will either you need to keep adjusting that. I don't have an Electron or a smart carb on there. Honestly, I don't know if I'd put the money in for one of those. We got to pick up the bike for only $4,000, so getting a $1,000 carburetor, just I'd rather spend that money maybe on another future bike, you know, instead of the carburetor. Section here, gonna get some whoops in. You know, it's not a ride unless you got some whoops. It really, that's what kills your thighs. That's what's gonna cramp up your thighs on a long run. Whoops. These are big, nasty ones too. I'm doing this video. It's been 2 days since the ride, and I can barely walk around the house. And sitting down on the toilet just hurts. My legs are just so out of shape. Big dip coming up. Ooh, bottomed out the suspension there. Off the trail, get back on the trail. And then stall it. I hardly stalled it today, which was good. I didn't do too many stalls. I've been looking at getting some new foot pegs. I might go with the Fastway pegs. I got that ankle saver. Might help me on those big dips. Right up here, I'm gonna get kicked out to the left and almost go down into that wash right there. Probably would have wrecked pretty good. Got myself though. Woo, that was a close one. Just getting so fatigued, I make mistakes. See, the guys are getting kind of far ahead of me there. Come on, Georgia, catch up to them. nice trail. This trail right here was very fast paced. It was throwing some obstacles. I mean, it's not hard enduro style obstacles, but definitely like a sprint enduro, a loop 2 maybe of a hare and hound. That's the kind of trail we're riding right now, and it is working me. 450's working me maybe. Coming up, there's going to be a little bit of a drop off here, and Case is going to eat it. So he washes out there on that turn.
You all right?
Doesn't hurt himself though. But he's going to hop back on his bike, and so Kyle's back on his 300. Case is on his 250. You know, you're riding good, but just getting back into that comfort zone of your familiar bike. That's what needed to happen, especially the pace we're going. We're going really fast. Now this side of the Laughlin Hills area, it's got a lot of crisscrossing terrain here. There are some other riders out here, some other bikers, so just keep your head on a swivel. Make sure that you're not going to T-bone anyone. They have a lot of these blind hill crest sections, so even a head-on, you know, that goes through my head. I don't want to have a head-on with anyone, but just a lot of fun. This is a great open riding area.
Woo!
Now the 450, it has so much torque, you don't have to downshift as much. I remember riding the 250, and that little climb there, I would have had to downshift to keep the power up. But 450, I could just kind of use it as a crutch with the power. You just kind of leave it in third, and it'll lug. You know, just up. It just really lugs up any of that steep stuff. You know, if you listen to other people's, the sound of their bike when they ride, the two strokes, a lot of them are wound out. The 250s, you know, you got to downshift. They got a lot of lower torque, but the 450 is a whole different ride. Now coming up, we got a nice climb up to this little ridge line there. It gets really chunky and rocky at the top. It's a lot steeper than it looks, of course. And Kyle's not going to make it up. Case is going to get a little bit lower than him. It just sucks when you ride. You get so close to the top, you don't make it the last 10 feet can just kill you, kill all your strength, just trying to have to push it up. You know, they get all the ridge lines, they get really rocky towards the top, so if you don't carry your momentum up, you got to do the old push to the top, which just zaps all your strength. So I go back down. Instead of just fighting it, I go back down and make another run, and I'm going to get to the top here. You can see all the big rocks, just avoiding them and keeping the speed up. So instead of pushing it, just take it down, make another run, got to the top. I should have done that back, that really hard one where we had to use the straps to get up to the top. Down the top. Come down here. This was a bad choice. I should have went down the way I came up. It's real steep here. I'm kind of at this awkward turn, and it got this darn bush right in my face.
Bad decision.
So I'm able to straight through that and then just send it down, avoiding all the big chunky rocks. Yeah, I guess I got her done. Not too bad.
You go right or left? Alright.
See how that works, folks?
Coming
Just,
right. No, I
just
don't
talk
see
to him
that.
right or left. He told me to go right. So, telling you the pack talks or intercom system saves you from getting lost, and it just speeds up your riding. You don't have to sit there at the intersections. So, if you haven't looked into getting one, do some research. Even just check it out. I think they're worth it. Now Kyle, he's gonna lead us over by accident. He's been telling us there's this like really rocky, slabby waterfall section, and he can't remember where it's at. So, just by a miracle, of all the places we went down, we ended up going down this wash, which it led us right to it. And it was pretty cool. Wish we could have spent some more time on it, but we were done for the day. First, we had to squeeze through this little tight section here. Tight squeeze, and then it had a little drop off on the other end, make it a little tricky. Not bad, got her done.
That rock moved. Wasn't planning on that. You see us?
So here we're coming up to it.
Oh yeah.
Case is
I see
way
it.
up
Come
on
down
the
here.
left, all the way to the top of that little peak right there. So he's going to come around the other side of this rock, where there's a big drop off here. Now, I've been practicing my drop off, my ledges, just sending it. And I'd say that's probably like a 6-7 foot drop right there on rocks, which if I had more time and I wasn't super exhausted, I'd like to do it. I think I can do that one.
I don't have a run up now.
But I decide I'm not going to do the drop off. I'm chicking out, and I'm going to cut to the right here.
I mean, it's not a big, it's like a foot, that's it.
I get down, not graceful. Totally slam into the other bank right there. But
Yeah.
I didn't fall. Not falling, I call that a win. So it kind of goes through this little rock slab area. This would be a lot of fun to go down and go back up again. If we had more time, we would have done that. It's like how Sand Hollow was. That rock section there that we did in the previous video, that was super rocky. Sure, flash flood, this thing would be raging. It's pretty steep dropping off. Here, you just got to pick your line, be smooth, keep your balance, and let it roll. Alright, that's going to wrap this one up, folks. We had a good time out in Laughlin Hills. It's a good place to come ride. The staging area, you can park your camper. There's a big group of campers there right now. So, yeah, come out, ride here, and you'll have a good time. The next video will be coming out shortly, and that's in Bullhead. That's going to be a rough one. We ran out of gas, got flat tires. It was kind of a shit show. Anyways, the next video, get out and ride and get some. Ew!